various locations via the miracle of Skype, it's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Yeah, I'm trying to temper my enthusiasm. We're headed for Daytona. It's going to be a big week back at the old racetrack. Hello, everyone. Todd Bailing in Phoenix, Arizona, joined by my three cheesehead partners, beginning with Brian Schmidt out in Oostburg, Wisconsin. Hiya, Brian.
Good morning. Morning. Next week at this time, we'll be in, hopefully, beautiful Daytona Beach, Florida.
And you are heading out tomorrow?
Monday night, yes.
All right. And, of course, PJ Noodleman, who is out by the great Mississippi River in Trempealeau. Hi, PJ.
Good morning. Excited for the World Series of Asphalt rolling.
It is. It's they've already got going down there. And, of course, our friend Dangerous Dan Margetta, who, by the way, this week confirmed that he had a perfectly normal PET scan and he is completely cancer-free. Dan, I can't tell you how happy we are for all of us are for you. It's a great day.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was good to get that out of the way, and looks like that's over and done, and let's go racing. 24 seasons about to start. After today, the next Sunday without a NASCAR race is July 28th. I'm ready to head out with Brian to Daytona tomorrow night.
July 28th. Well, we'll have things to talk about every week from now on, that's for sure. There's and as you might imagine, there's much going on in the world of NASCAR as we prepare to go down there. And as PJ intimated just a second ago, they're racing already down there in the short tracks. As Brian will give us some results from the dirt tracks. But that little paved track at New Smyrna is already fired up and racing, and we're going to be, hopefully, we'll be even talking to your husband, who's already down there, PJ?
They just rolled into New Smyrna this morning about 8 o'clock our time. 8 o'clock our time. Drove straight through.
Overnight traveling, got to be fun. So we'll have a couple of words with Toby a little later in the program. And also during this program, it was announced this week that Johnny Sauter is going to have a truck ride for Daytona. And we're going to talk to Johnny after the first break and find out how that came together and how things are lining up for Johnny Sauter's season so far. This is the kind of time that we all get very, very pumped up about what's all going on in the world and this of NASCAR. And if it isn't happening right now, when would a better time be? They're going to be televised most of the week. We've got qualifying Wednesday. That's going to be at 7 p.m. Central Time. I don't know exactly who's going to carry any of this. I would imagine it's all Fox affiliated programming, such as FS1, although I don't have that listed here. Do you guys know?
I would assume it's going to be FS1. That would be my assumption. I don't know that Fox is going to have qualifying on their big network, but check your local listings.
FS1 is more than likely where you're going to see that. And also, kind of odd, I think, like last year, no practice prior to qualifying. What in the hell is the point of that whole thing? Does that make sense to anybody? Are we saving people money? Are we saving valuable track time for something else? Are they going to have a concert or something? What's the point?
No, there really is nothing going on at Daytona on Wednesday the gates don't open until an hour before qualifying. So, and then they don't practice before the duels either. So the duels are going to go off Thursday night. That's going to be their first drafting,
actual practice. Really, it's drafting practice.
I mean, I can see in the past they didn't really draft right off the bat. Qualifying just single car runs anyways, but you'd think you'd give them at least 15 minutes to at least fire the car up and run it out and make sure there's no bugs in the thing before you actually get going for real. I mean, a lot of times people find that stuff out, especially the first race of the season when you're not used to doing it every week.
Many
Don't
times
they normally do that for rookies, though? Don't they give the rookies a little chance to
Yeah,
practice?
and they got nothing at all this year. And there's not even, the ARCA race is on the Saturday before the 500. For many, many years, the ARCA race was, before the shootout or the clash. So that would give some of those people some time to do that as well. But no, it's strange. It's just cold turkey. The last time they had practice before qualifying was the first year of the new car. They did it on the Tuesday night with qualifying on Wednesday. And I thought that was something they would continue to do, but last year they didn't do it.
Are they worried about wrecking cars? Because sometimes when they get the drafting practice, things get crazy.
Yeah.
And now I think
they have
about
as many
it.
backup cars as they used to either, Dan.
Right? Because you think about the schedule this year. You're going to go Daytona and you're going to Atlanta right after that, which is two kind of pack racing type tracks.
And there's no practice at Atlanta at all. So the Cup cars get 50 minutes Friday night from 5:30 to 6:25. It's right before the truck race, and then they get Saturday morning, which their happy hour they call it, from 10:30 in the morning till 11:20. These are Eastern times, of course. And if you remember, Dan, the last couple of years, that final practice on Saturday morning, maybe 10 cars would go out for that. Most guys just left her in the garage with the cover over it and didn't even go out.
Right. I think they're again worried about wrecking a car before the race, and it seems like once you unload the truck there in the drafting tracks, what you got is what you got.
Yeah.
Right.
Good point. By the way, Thursday, ARCA practice will be at 3:00, and then truck practice 4:00, and then the dual qualifiers are at 6:00. Now, supposedly, that's all going to be on FS1. So, if you can get near a TV on Thursday, there's a full day starting at 3 in the afternoon. Then at Friday, ARCA qualifying is at 12:30. Truck qualifying is at 2. Xfinity practice. They are going to have practice at 3:35 and Cup practice at 4:35. And now this is on Friday. Then the truck race will be at 6:30. That's a 250, and the 100 laps with stage breaks on lap 20 and 40. Then Saturday, the final Cup practice. And why practices after qualifying? Again, just very odd to me. But that's at 9:30 in the morning. Xfinity qualifying is at 10:30. The Human Sacrifice 200 is at 12:30. And then the Xfinity 300 race will be Saturday at 4:00 in the afternoon. And then, of course, 1:30, 1 week from today, the Daytona 500. And the stage breaks will be at lap 65 and 130 of that 200-lap biggest stock car race in the world.
And that ARCA race at Daytona there has a little bit of interest this year. There are 50 entries for that. We have not seen that in many, many years. I can't remember the last time they had an ARCA race there where they actually sent cars home.
Where are they coming from? How come all of a sudden?
I don't know, and it's strange because ARCA has been struggling. There's been car count issues for years there, and all of a sudden, boom! Their entry list for this race has got 50 cars on it. That's pretty impressive.
Car owners look at each other and they say, boy, if we ever were trying to get into get our new young 16-year-old driver into learning how to be a stock car driver, ARCA is wide open for us right now. I think we should probably go that route. It's always been that way, but like Brian said, the car counts have been so bad lately that it's wide open. Why not? Let's go. And now
there aren't a lot of household names. You look at it, it's kind of like interesting name. I mean, Patrick Emmeling is an interesting name. That's a modified regular. You see his name on there. Some of these younger kids, Leland Honeyman is on there. Jason Kitzmiller, some of the guys that have been on there forever are on there. It's quite the mix of people. Mandy Chick.
You think about the ARCA series back in the day where it would be some guy that drove a garbage truck all week long that would go down there and this, I'm serious about this, and driving in the ARCA race because none of them were really professional race car drivers. But as things have evolved, that's when those drivers were, 40 years old, and now the drivers are 15.
Last year, the guy that won it was Greg Van Alst. He was
Greg Van Alst. He's back in it this year again. Shane Van Gisbergen is in it. That's going to be an interesting one to want to watch. First time he'll be out drafting.
Yeah, that'll be good. We'll come back to Johnny Slaughter after these.
From
from racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines. Just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs, all backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And the Admirals victorious. They have not lost in 2024.
The Milwaukee Admirals have won 14 straight games, a franchise record. They'll try to extend that on Tuesday when they host the Chicago Wolves at Panther Arena. Pre-game coverage at 6, face-off at 6:30 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. The Wisconsin gang joined by yet another Wisconsin guy, Johnny Sauter, who is getting ready to be, he's going to have a busy week, actually. Johnny, first of all, welcome to the program. Great to have you back.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
I was probably as surprised as anybody, not that you found your way into a truck race again, because being that you've had an amount of success equal to championships in that series, but you found a decent ride for the Daytona the Daytona truck race, which is one of your many multi-win races. So this is a great. I would say it's a surprise to most of us.
Yeah, they probably called me back maybe the middle of January and just said, "Hey, what do you think?" And I said, "Yeah, let's do it." And I know the crew chief on that truck. I've known him for 20 plus years. I actually worked with him back at RCR. We were really tight. When I lived in Charlotte area, he kept his race car in my shop and things like that. So, so I'm stoked to have an opportunity like that. I mean, Nice obviously won 4 races last year with Hocevar, and and it's that group of guys. So just excited to have an opportunity to sit in something that you feel like you can go win with. I mean, that's the name of the game. So Daytona's been good to me in the past, and I'm excited to get down there.
Phil Gould is the guy's name, and I can't say it's a household name because I don't remember him as well as you did, but it's interesting to me that you have a history with the guy. So that can't hurt anything, can it?
No, I actually went to their shop probably 2-3 weeks ago and fitted the seat and all that, and it's amazing how many people obviously I've lived in Wisconsin for the last 10 years or whatnot already, but just people, familiar faces, people you worked with. Mike Hillman's over there. Tom Ackerman, who is our competition director at GMS when we won all those races and won the championship, he's over at Nice now. So, and then obviously Cody Efall. There's just so many people that work there that I, have history with, that I've worked with, or people that you've seen at the racetrack through the years. So, I'm excited. There's really no pressure. Just go down there and try to win the race. I mean, that's what more can you ask for? So, going to be down there anyway, running Richie's car on Tuesday night. So I figured, what the heck, let's do it.
This isn't just a question. Go ahead, Brian.
And this isn't just a one-off deal, right? I mean, there's more races in the offering for the season with these guys at Nice. Like, is Milwaukee possibly going to be one of them?
Well, to be honest with you, there's a lot of things up in the air. And they've explained it all to me, and we don't have enough time to go through it all. But, at this point, it's just Daytona, so I'll just leave it at that. But you just never know how these things work out, and quite frankly, there's another opportunity that's kind of looming out there, so we'll see if that materializes with anything. But, the goal for me is to be in a position to win. I'm not really interested in just being there. It's got to be good stuff. So, or stuff that you at least feel like you have the opportunity to go out and compete. So,
right.
no more junk for this guy.
I love it. Because as we know, you have driven things in the past that you warned my partners here that they needed to have a tetanus shot before they stood too close to it. So, yeah,
well,
this is good to
that's
know.
all the things we think we can pull off, but then we realize that those days are long gone. You got to have a horse to ride.
There you go.
Well, you've got a good piece that you're going to be taking to New Smyrna with Richie Waters. Talk a little bit about that race, the new tire that they're going to be running down there, and how you're feeling about your shot.
Well, I feel good about it. I mean, we ran so well down there at that Freedom Factory race, the Billy Bigley race, and then we went to the Derby and qualified well, and then just absolutely laid an egg in the race, which we were, I left there shocked as could be. So, and we actually ran the race at New Smyrna, the Red Eye last year, and run second in that. And I don't remember exactly what happened to us when we went back for speed weeks, but so the speed's there, the potential's there. We just got to find it and figure that part out. I know Richie's got 100 shocks and springs set up and ready to go, so we can plug and play. But that's a fun racetrack, and I never really raced there up until last year. I had never raced there really, so that's always fun. Richie's fun to be with and race, and there's going to be a lot of good cars there. So there's no easy free lunch there. So you're gonna have to work your butt off, but it's going to be a fun week down there. I'm looking forward to it, like I said.
Are you bringing your son Penn along so he can kind of see how things are done on that large scale?
Nobody's begged me more to go this week than my son. I can promise you that. So I just got to try to figure out the balance of skipping school and going to the racetrack. There's a fine line there. So, but I'm confident he'll find his way down there, and he'll talk to his mom and figure that part out. But yeah, he's more pumped than anybody I know. I can promise you that.
John, do you have any other races that are coming up with Richie Waters and that Ricky Lemons team?
Beyond this, it's kind of just, we always just kind of go by seat of the pants. So, Richie wants to race all the time. I don't say that we ever have a plan per se. We kind of talk about a race or two that we want to run. So hopefully, I like to race, but we all know how expensive it is. So that's always in the back of our minds. But yeah, I mean, obviously I still have my super late stuff, and I'm revamping that whole program pretty heavily. So I'm pretty excited about all that, and we'll probably run, what the same races I typically do, Joe Shear at Madison, and try to come to Slinger and run in the top 10. And, just all the races, all the big ones. And I really like that Alive for 5 at the Dells stuff. So I didn't even get an opportunity to race at the Dells at all last year. It just never worked out. So I got to hit some of those places again.
As PJ mentioned, your son Penn. Now, as we got into last season, the thought was that he certainly is tall enough to get into a pro late model, and that was the plan. I just want to know if you have a kind of a time schedule set up for him.
Yeah, I mean, I've been working on the car, and it's one of my older Howe cars, so I'm excited about that, just for the nostalgia for myself. But yeah, we'll have it ready. To be honest with you, I really don't have a plan. I'm going to drag him wherever I can. Jefferson, the Dells, and see how that goes. Just try to get him to cut his teeth a little bit in a big car. And it's going to be a nice piece. I mean, it's looking really nice. So, but yeah, we're going to race as much as we possibly can. And I wouldn't rule out going anywhere in the state right now, but I just want to take him somewhere for the first month and just let him run some laps in a big car and kind of learn what it's all about. I mean, going from a Bandolier to a big car, I got to believe is going to be a big adjustment, but these kids today catch on so fast. It's unreal. So,
and he certainly does seem to have the gift, Johnny.
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. I can't tell him that, but he does good. I mean, he's got good situational awareness. There's things that he does that you can't teach. So I just hope we can keep it going. Hopefully I'm smart enough on this limited late model stuff. I never really did any of that. So no bump stops and things like that. There's some stuff that I got to learn. I keep telling them, you're going to learn and I'm going to learn, and we're going to learn together, and we're going to have fun and see what we can do with it. I
can't imagine a better father-son thing to do. Johnny, good luck at Daytona, man. We're going to be cheering for you, not just in the truck race, but you're going to have a lot of folks watching this week as you race Tuesday night at New Smyrna. So best of luck to you, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon.
Sounds good. I appreciate you having me, and take care.
All right, Johnny Sauter, and we'll sneak away for a break. We're happy you're listening to LTN. We return in just a couple of minutes.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit BonafideSafe.com.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
It's Super Bowl 58.
You got one more.
And the Chiefs and Niners square off for the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Super Bowl on the line, man. Let's go.
Hear every moment of the coverage beginning at 1 p.m.
on the official home.
97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to LTN. If you would at any time during this program, no matter where you are listening, either right here in the Big 920 or around the world on Facebook and our YouTube channels, you can call us at 414-421-7901 to weigh in on anything that we're going to be talking about during the program. And there's a few things that have come up this week. You know, Denny Hamlin, I got to tell you, I'm not a fan of Denny Hamlin's shtick. You know, he can be a real ass in a race car sometimes. There's no denying the talent that Denny Hamlin has, but he can be just such an ass. Can we say ass? I think so. Well, even his dad thought he was an ass this week, and Dennis Hamlin Sr. told Denny that it's just too cocky of him to keep saying, I beat your favorite driver. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I loved it. You need that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. It stirs it up. We need to find reasons to root for one driver over another. And if that didn't give you enough reason to root for the entire field against Denny Hamlin, what could have possibly done it? And now he's got to stop saying it. Come on, really?
I loved it, too. I absolutely loved it, too. But at the same time, I kind of like the fact that he listens to what his dad has to say, you know? I mean, there's a certain amount of respect. It proves Denny does know how to show respect.
You know what he ought to do is he ought to get out of the car and say, you know what I just did. You know. I just something like that. You need something like that.
I don't have to say it anymore.
Right. I mean, you need something. It's like when Kyle Busch was when everybody was booing him, you get out and do the bow at everybody. That was cool. It just makes it fires it up and it
absolutely. I know.
Out and it's great.
So, and you know, I never really saw this Dennis Hamlin Sr., but I'll tell you something. I kind of like the guy. You know, keep your boy in check. Yeah, right. Like he really kept him in any kind of check whatsoever. We had, believe it or not, they had a tire test at Bristol this week. Now, a tire test at Bristol is not an unusual thing. A tire test at Bristol with rain tires is, especially since it wasn't raining. I don't know if anybody saw this video out there. I saw a little snippet that was posted by Roush freaking Keselowski Racing that shows them watering the track and the Roush cars going around and testing rain tires at Bristol. I'm trying to figure out what I think of this whole thing, and I would kind of like you guys to weigh in on it a little bit. You can't possibly run anywhere near the unbelievable speeds, but taking speed out of it might just make this quite an event, having cars sliding around at Bristol. Talk about we're not going to have a dirt track anymore, but let's hope it rains, don't you think?
Well, it's really not rain tires. It's not rain tires like we see Formula One and IndyCar do. NASCAR wants you to understand it's damp tires. So if we got rain falling at a steady pace, they're not going to be out there racing. This is to keep from having the 2-hour track drying session to get the track dry to race. So this means once the rain stops and the water ain't running down the track, we'll be able to go out there and race again. That's the idea. Same thing at North Wilkesboro last year with the Truck Series. When it rained and the track was damp, we didn't have to spend multiple hours drying the track. We could get out there and get started and get racing. So I think we got to remember that. So it's a different type of a rain situation that we're looking at here. But yeah, I think it would be cool. It definitely would be interesting to see how they perform in that type of situation. It's going to be tricky. I mean, I don't think it'll be as straightforward as it was at Wilkesboro, where it's a flatter track and your speeds aren't there. They're going to have to be really careful, and I'm sure that's what this test was all about, to make sure that these cars can handle and you're not going to wad them all up in one corner.
And then you're going to have
fun that's going to be, though.
You're going to have the same situation, too, if you do end up using those damp tires, as you call them, Brian, as to how long before you got to get them off or put them back on, whatever.
Yeah, right, and especially with concrete there, too, it takes longer to dry that. If you have an asphalt track, sun comes out, it's dark colored, it dries a lot quicker. Concrete, that's always been the battle there. It takes so much longer to dry those tracks.
Just put the damn tires on the car.
Look where it is in the schedule. I mean, it's early in the spring, and it's kind of iffy there at Bristol. I mean, we've had some rain issues there, and we also had snow. I remember Kyle Busch having a snow fight with the fans from pit road. So, I mean, it's probably good to have them on hand in case it does get that way.
They ought to just make them drive in salt like, people do in the great state of Wisconsin, It snows, salt the track down, get out there and put those wipers on. You're going to need them, and you're going to need some goop to put on your windshield, too. This is really a neat thing, the whole idea. And it makes sense, Brian, what you said about, you can't really race in the pouring rain. However, think of the difference. Another hour we should have the track in a raceable state,
Well, we saw it at Chicago last year. That race was in serious jeopardy of not happening. And if NASCAR hadn't implemented this wet weather type tire, that race would have happened. It poured all day long, and as soon as it stopped pouring and the standing water was gone, they were able to get going, and it was an outstanding event. So it's really helped that they've been able to implement this type of scenario now.
I think so, too. It's great stuff. Another news item that came up this week, and I'll have to temper my thoughts on it, but I see that Rajah Caruth is going to have himself a full-time truck ride in one of the Spire trucks. Now help me here, and I think maybe PJ, you can answer to this. Aren't those Spire trucks like a satellite team? And that's all Hendrick equipment, possibly?
I believe it is.
Because go ahead, Brian.
Did Spire buy out all of KBM's stuff from last year, too, I think?
Oh, and they're even in the same building, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of a hybrid team then of everything. Chad Walter is going to be the crew chief. There's some things that I have questions. Where is Rajah Caruth getting his money from? Does he have a rich grandpa or something? Or, did we just decide that he's the next great black driver to come along, and we need to make sure he is nurtured into a decent ride? From what I have seen, there haven't been very many flashes of brilliance out of his driving style. So that's just me. I might be wrong, but Raja Karuth, we're going to see him full time in the number 71 trucks in the series this year. So interesting stuff. We're glad you're tuned in. Again, if you'd like to weigh in, we'd love to hear from you. We're going to sneak away for a break.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
And the Admirals victorious. They have not lost in 2024.
The Milwaukee Admirals have won 14 straight games, a franchise record. They'll try to extend that on Tuesday when they host the Chicago Wolves at Panther Arena. Pre-game coverage at 6, face-off at 6:30 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN. Our partner and friend Mike Egan just contacted us and to tell us if you're a slinger, if you ever go to Slinger and watch the pro late models up there, there's a young man by the name of Zach Brown who drives the number 30 pro late model. He works at Spire Motorsports, and he's actually employed by Hendrick Motorsports. So he works at Spire, but he's employed by Hendrick. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Isn't that interesting? Who would have thought? Hey, guys, Dale Jr., you talk about surprises. He came up out of nowhere with this one this week. He announced on his podcast that he is a free agent right now. His contract expired with NBC, and that he said he's in negotiations with them. I'm a little mixed up here. First of all, it's not unusual that a guy would be, his contract expired and he might be in negotiations. What's unusual is that Dale Jr. actually said it. Why would anyone do that unless they're trying to increase their leverage in a negotiation like that? Don't you find this just a little unusual?
It's odd. I think he said something because he's not one to play out contract stuff on social media. In fact,
you wouldn't think so,
right?
Well, go ahead, Dan.
But I mean, see how it goes. I mean, maybe it's not going the way he wants it. I don't think it's really a money deal. It's maybe other things too. And I think it could be, if you don't say a whole lot on social media when you bring it out like that and say, hey, this is what's going on, people kind of listen. And maybe they weren't listening to what he wanted to do, or maybe he's got offers from somewhere else that he wants to let them know that are out there.
I think you hit the nail on the head with that. I think he wants to have more freedom to be able to do different things. He definitely has a lot of irons in the fire, and I think he's just looking for a little more freedom so that he's not tied down to one single thing.
If you're going to have me, you're going to pay for me. I mean, basically, Dale Jr. opens his mouth and the racing world listens in. And, Dan, I thought it was very interesting that, of all people, Dale Jr. is the one that said, that the L.A. Coliseum has run its course for the Busch Clash.
Yeah, I think he's still got, if you look at like old school thoughts, I guess you can call it, and he's one of the most, for that kind of way of thinking, and he's got a good platform to bring it out. If you think of all things that have happened and all the deals he's kind of, put backing to, it's been some of those old school, would really please the diehard NASCAR fans that have been there forever. And he's not. You got to realize change is okay, but I think you can't forget your roots kind of thing. And I think he's got that. And I guess the way you can put it, if you're a racer, you get it. And Dale Jr. gets it. And people that are racers know when I say what I mean by when I say he gets it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
the other thing you need to remember is he's also involved with that Cars Tour, and he might want to be getting a little more hands-on with that as well, too, and he needs a little more time for that.
Interesting. Yeah, a lot of irons in the fire is right. But this podcast that he does, I think, is just one of the greatest single pieces of media having to do with the world of racing. If you haven't seen it yet, you're missing out, because he when he opens his mouth, he's not coming from a place of absent-mindedness. He knows what he's talking about, and he's been in every single facet of racing too. He used to help his dad and work on his own cars when he was racing in the short tracks back in the day. So I mean, he's gone from that to being a promoter and oh, by the way, a Hall of Fame driving career in the middle there.
He definitely has the respect of everybody, and I think one of the reasons why is because he doesn't do that gotcha question. He's not about trying to get somebody, break the news or whatever, like a lot of media people try to do. So I think he definitely has the respect.
And he still speaks truth,
Mm-hmm.
And I think why it came out, why it came out with the contract situation was that there's a version of that podcast was on Peacock, right, or one of the NBC affiliates, and suddenly it wasn't there anymore. I think that's why he had to kind of explain why it wasn't there right now.
Oh, yeah.
Jeez. Hey, that reminds me. Of course, you can get the LTN podcast on all major platforms, but PJ, the new Racing Nuggets dropped this week, didn't it?
It did. Todd Thielen from Slinger Speedway was our guest this week, so you can check that out on all the areas that you can download your podcast or watch it on YouTube. His dog Oakley made an appearance as well.
Todd has done all of the above. He's raced and worked on cars and worked in the concession area. I never knew he sold pictures for Dave Olson before. Are you kidding me? I learned a lot by watching Racing Nuggets, and I work with the guy. It was very enlightening. So it would be very good to tune in this week and find out what's all going on there. The world of media is I wouldn't say it's in turmoil right now, but when they start talking about what they're kicking around, this new streaming platform that's coming, it's almost scary. ESPN and their rival Fox and another rival, Warner Discovery, are all teaming up, and they're going to do a new streaming platform that almost all live sports are going to be on. I'm a little concerned because even though there's no price that's been attached so far, the rumor is it's going to be between $40 and $50 a month. What are we looking at here? It's going to include NASCAR.
Yeah, I think they're looking at fighting back against the cable companies, because cable rates are going way up, and it happened a lot, and a lot of it is because they keep jacking up fees to these different networks to put their stuff on their platform. You always see your Fox stations are off for now until we get a new agreement, then they come back on. Maybe this is a way to get around that, where we don't need the cable thing anymore. We'll just go do our own streaming service. We'll all get together, so we're not competing with each other, and it's going to be one price, and maybe it'll be an option instead of keeping the cable. You can just get this. Pricing wise, I don't think the biggest savings, but it could be, and you wouldn't have that rate increase all the time.
And it's everybody's always clamored for a la carte type viewing, where if your household doesn't watch certain stations, but you got to buy it through your cable package, you have to do it, and you have to spend the $100 and whatever a month it is for all your stuff. Mm-hmm. Streaming is going to go away with that. Once you go to streaming, you'll be able to pick what you want to watch and buy it, and that's going to be that. And I mean, your news and stuff comes over the air on an antenna anyway, so if you got any kind of an antenna, you could still get that. But I think this is the way of the future. And I mean, I've even thought about it here, cutting the cord and getting rid of my DirecTV because they charge you such a exorbitant fee every month, and you don't even watch all of the stuff.
Doesn't matter if it's cable or satellite. The biggest chunk of change that you pay is for ESPN programming, no matter how much or how little of it you actually watch. I didn't realize how little ESPN I actually watch. Well, you're going to be paying for it on the side if you want to watch it. Now, I just don't know. We'll be back.
Miller Sales and Service is the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer for customer service and satisfaction. Serving the area since 1939, Miller's is located on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. As the Midwest's #1 Bravo trailer dealer, Miller's has all kinds of Bravo trailers from 8 feet to 48 feet in stock. They also have a selection of B&B utility and dump trailers, reliable and Chilton open aluminum and steel trailers. With over 50 pre-owned low-mileage cars, trucks, and SUVs, Miller's has just the vehicle you are looking for. Miller's also carries a full line of Alumacraft boats and Manitou pontoon boats, complete with Evinrude outboards. Why not buy from racers who know what racers want and need? With Miller's Sales and Service on the corner of Highway 57 and K in Random Lake. Call Jerry, Tom, or Brad Miller today at 920-994-4358. That's Miller's Sales and Service, 920-994-4358.
PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
It's Super Bowl 58.
You got one more.
And the Chiefs and Niners square off for the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Super Bowl on the line, man. Let's go.
Hear every moment of the coverage beginning at 1 p.m.
on the official home.
97.3 The Game.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Right smack dab in the middle of the meat and potatoes portion of Speed Weeks this past week here with all the tracks in action. We'll start Monday night outside of Barberville, Florida, Volusia Speedway Park, as they kicked off the 53rd Annual Dirt Car Nationals. UMP Modifieds took center stage for the first couple of nights. 113 of them showed up. They qualified them all, and then they divided them up into 6 1,000-to-win feature events with Brian Ruhlman, Mitch Thomas, Tyler Nicely, Tim Ward, David Stremme, and Will Krupp winning Monday's portion of the program. They did that same format again on Tuesday night. Kyle Strickler, Tom Berry Jr., Charlie Mefford, Tyler Nicely, Lucas Lee, and the ageless Kenny Schrader grabbing victories in the UMP Modifieds on Tuesday night at Volusia. Also Tuesday night, Monday night, they had a rain out at East Bay, so they were unable to start off that part of the Winter Nationals there. They did get Tuesday night's portion of the program in for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. $5,000 to win, and Hudson O'Neill grabbed the win there. Wednesday night, Lake City, Florida, the All-Tech Raceway, the Short Track Super Series for the Big Block Modifieds was up there. $5,000 to win. Matt Shepard grabbed the win there. Volusia, another night of the Dirt Car Nationals, this time featuring the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series as they start off their season. Brad Sweet grabbed the win. Bill Balog making his run at the Rookie of the Year portion for the World of Outlaws, finished 8th in his first ever feature. So a very good run for him there. The Modifieds were there again, also at Volusia. They did 6 features yet again. Dustin Sorensen, Trevor Neville, Raymond Cable, Kenny Wallace, Charlie Mefford, and Tyler Nicely grabbing wins there. Also Wednesday night at East Bay, $7,000 to win for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Tyler Erb grabbed the win there. Thursday night, All-Tech Raceway in Lake City, Florida for the Big Block Mods, $5,000 win. Matt Shepard made it 2 for 2. Night number 2 of the Sprint Cars at Volusia for the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series. David Grabble grabbed the win. Bill Balog was there. He finished 20th. The 6 modified feature winners there, Dustin Sorensen, Kenny Schrader, made it. That's 2 of them on the week for him. Jonathan Taylor, Greg Moore, Ryan Ayers, and David Pinkerson grabbed the wins. Thursday night also at East Bay, $10,000 to win for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Jimmy Owens grabbed the win. We haven't seen him win in quite a while. They also made up Monday night's feature. They kind of staggered it throughout the week. They qualified them on Tuesday, ran heat races on Wednesday, ran the 30-lap feature on Thursday night afterwards, and $5,000 to win, and Brandon Shepard grabbed the win there. Friday night, Lake City, Florida, the third night for the Big Block Modifieds. Matt Shepard made it 3 for 3, picking up the win. Ocala, Florida, the Ocala Speedway, the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series opened up their season, and Justin Grant grabbed the win there. Volusia, another night for the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars. Tyler Courtney grabbed the win. Bill Baylog was there. He finished 20th in that feature event. Modifieds ran 6 features yet again. Michael Leach, Will Krupp, Zeke McKenzie, Tyler Nicely, David Stremme, and Jonathan Taylor grabbed the win. East Bay on Friday night, $12,000 win for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series. Jonathan Davenport grabbed the win. That's a name I hadn't said yet all year, so you knew sooner or later he was going to get it together, and he did Friday night. Last night at Lake City, Florida, the final night for the Short Track Super Series Big Block Modifieds, $10,000 to win. Stuart Friesen of NASCAR truck fame picked up the win there. Ocala, Florida, another night for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Cars. Justin Grant made it 2 for 2, picking up the win there. Last night at Volusia for the World of Outlaw National Energy Drink Sprint Car Series, $20,000 to win, and Sheldon Houdenchild picked up the win. A great feature there if you got to see that one. Baylog made the feature, but he finished 24th, unfortunately. And for the Modifieds, they gathered all their points together and got them all organized for one big $5,000 to win feature last night, and Kyle Strickler picked up the win in that, passing Dustin Sorensen on the last lap to grab the $5,000.
Tickler.
Yes, yeah, back in a modified again. And finally, Tampa, Florida, East Bay Raceway Park, the final Winter Nationals. As they say, the place is closing down at the end of the year. The Lucas Oil Series will be back there in October for a big $50,000 to win race, but October weather in Florida can be iffy, so many walked out of there last night thinking that was the last time you're going to see late models at East Bay. $15,000 to win, a heck of a feature, and Dalton Wilson, who has finished second 9 different times in Lucas Oil late model competition, finally grabbed his feature win for $15,000. Pretty cool moment if you saw it. Standing room only crowd there, the biggest crowd in the history of East Bay Raceway Park for that final race last night. Not to mention Volusia, also, they announced last night, the biggest crowd in the history of Volusia Speedway Park for the World of Outlaw race there last night. So the crowds are huge down in Florida right now, but we'll see what happens with East Bay. A lot of people say it's over. I find it hard to believe when you saw how good the racing was there this week, but the place is sold, and Mosaic is going to use it for a mine, so that's going to be it. They'll race sprint cars there Monday and Tuesday with the High Limit Series and 360s the rest of the week, and then we'll see what happens going forward. But Speed Weeks is not going to be the same without East Bay, that's for sure.
EJ.
World Series of Asphalt kicked off on Friday at New Smyrna Speedway. Super late model winner was Gio Ruggiero. Had some local Midwest flavor down there as well. Austin Nason finished 8th. William Sawalich 9th. And he's in a Kevin Harvick car this year, not Donnie Wilson. Gabe Summers was 11th, Derek Kraus 13th, Mitch Haver 16th, Ty Fredrickson 17th, James Finch, not really Midwest flavor, but a local that people know. He finished 18th, and Bubba Pollard bowed out because his car wasn't right. He hated the tires, 31st in that race. Pro Late Models also ran on Friday night. Jimmy Renfro was the winner. Chad Butts down there, he ran, finished 10th. Billy Braun was 11th, RJ Braun 15th, and then last night the Wheel and Modified series, NASCAR Wheel and Modified series ran. Ronnie Silk picked up the win there. The Pro Late Models ran. Dawson Sutton was your winner. Chad Butts was 12th. Billy Braun 13th. RJ Braun, after some slobber knocking, ended up 23rd. The Icebreaker was also at Florence Motor Speedway last night. Carson Quapple picking up the win. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was also in that race, and he finished 4th. And then tonight, the super late models will be back in action for the World Series of Asphalt at New Smyrna. First race is tonight. 7:30 Eastern will be the super lates. They're off on Monday, and then Tuesday is that massive Stars National Tour race that has the likes of Chase Elliott entered, as well as it's a who's who of super late model racing.
It will be televised on Flow all week long. I don't know, is it on Flow on Tuesday, or is it a different platform?
Yeah, it's Flow all week. Same with Tuesday. Tuesday's also on TrackTV.com. Track TV and Midwest Tour TV have the Stars Tour this year, so they'll have the race on Tuesday. Flow will have it all week because they have the Asphalt World Series of Asphalt.
Flow has had quite the week. They just had not only East Bay, but they also had New Smyrna. Brian, I did quite a bit of watching of those dirt late models, and I have to tell you, They're really putting on a show. The racing at East Bay has been absolutely spectacular.
It's the best I've seen since 2020 there. I mean, I was there for all the races in 2021, and they were kind of vanilla, but they really put a lot of work into it. And the key was the amount of water you put on it. It's a different type of surface, and the first night wasn't the greatest, and all the drivers agreed, and the track owner said, the only way we're going to make this good is if we water the heck out of it, and you guys all have to pack it. Packing at dirt tracks has been something drivers don't like to do anymore. They all agreed to do it. They packed it, and the racing was spectacular.
We're going to have a special guest when we come back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company in the heart of Wisconsin is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily, from premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit PMFlandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
It's Super Bowl 58.
You got one more.
And the Chiefs and Niners square off for the Vince Lombardi Trophy.
Super Bowl on the line, man. Let's go.
Hear every moment of the coverage beginning at 1 p.m.
on the official home.
97.3 The Game.
Welcome back to LTN. We have Toby Noodleman joining us from the pit. He just apparently got to New Smyrna Beach, Florida. First of all, this is a great day when we get both the lovely Mrs. and the lovely Mr. both on the same broadcast from different ends of the country. Toby, you made it down okay. That's first thing. We did all right, huh?
Yeah, no issues. Drove all night. Got here at 7 o'clock this morning.
All right. So you've got a pretty big race this coming Tuesday with a guy who seems to get around this New Smyrna racetrack as good as anybody ever has. What are we looking at? Are you happy with the tires that you're going to be having to be racing on?
Well, a lot of people are complaining about them. We have not really been on them yet, so they don't have enough stagger. The sizes they brought aren't down here. They don't run a lot of stagger. Up north, we run more staggers. So with this stuff we got to deal with, we unload it. We'll have to see what happens.
Are you guys going to unload tonight, Toby, in a race, or are you just going to wait until practice tomorrow?
No, we're going to wait till tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I don't have a driver here, so.
When is Ty getting in?
Deal well, he's around right now. You have to. He's got to take us to the motel yet, I think. That's our ride. So
Which car did you take? Which car did you take down, Toby?
The one we ran at Kakana that we won with at Kakana.
Okay, so it's a great car. Well,
we ran it at the Rattler. I mean, it's a really good car. So all our cars are really good. So.
Well, we'll be watching close. Thanks for checking in with us. I know after driving all night, this is probably the last thing you want to do. Talk to your wife and her friends.
It's all, I mean, it's crazy down here. All the cars, they can't you have no place to put them all, and I mean it's just wild. Whoever said short track racing was hurting, and ain't showing it by here.
Good problem to have.
That's right.
We're parked way back in the motorhome parking lot right now.
Well, best of luck to you guys on Tuesday night. We'll be watching.
We'll be there to see you on Tuesday, Toby.
Sounds good.
All right, Toby Noodleman, the other half of the Noodleman family from the pit area down there. And
be sure to smack him on the ass for me, Brian.
I'm not going to touch any other guy's ass.
Not for you or anybody else.
No.
While we were discussing the media the new streaming platform that was coming, I should mention Doug Rice, who has been the main guy at PRN Radio for all these years, has announced he's going to retire at the end of this year. 36 years he's been doing this, and since he announced it, I guess they've already named him as the Grand Marshal for the Atlanta race, which I think is pretty damn cool. But one of the real class acts in our sport, and a guy that well-deservedly will be retiring and kicking his feet up and starting to just listening to it on the radio instead of being the voice of radio. And you know Doug Rice's name, too. You know his voice for sure.
He's been around for 36 years. You got to get pretty used to that. But don't forget Bobby Dotter's got a new deal for the Xfinity race, a new number and a new alliance.
Yeah, first of all, I don't totally understand how this is going to work, but Bobby Dotter's outfit is called SS Greenlight Racing, and he's teaming up with Colleague Racing. They are bringing in their driver and a sponsor to drive Bobby Dotter's car. Daniel Suarez is going to drive for Bobby Dotter, and it's going to be sponsored by Wendy's.
Yeah, this is a really cool deal here. It'll be car number 14 instead of the 08. So when you're watching the Xfinity race next Saturday at Daytona, you don't see the 08 for Bobby Dotter's car out there. You see the 14, and then they got a good sponsor on it. So I'm interested to run into Bobby next weekend and get the scoop on this, because this is something that, there was a lot of struggles there, and we had him on, I think, this past fall, and he talked about the struggles that they had for the year. So this is good for him, and hopefully this will help his operation build back up to where he was, because, he's one of the good guys in the sport, and you always want to see them guys succeed.
Oh, absolutely. Positively. The other note that we had is, and I didn't realize it, it seems like only yesterday that Tony Stewart's team hooked up with Ford Motor Company. And I don't know if you realized it, but this is the final year of Tony Stewart's contract with Ford Motor Company. Now, he's already in bed with Dodge for his stuff in drag racing. Of course, it's because I think that they're still providing and still making those 426 Hemis that are used widely across the sport. But, if Bobby, I would just love to see if Tony Stewart could talk Dodge into coming back into NASCAR. They should be in NASCAR. They might not understand the value of it, but everybody else that watches NASCAR understands the value of it. So come on, man, really? This would be a perfect time for you to do that. And we're hoping that happens. My God, that hour just whizzes right by, doesn't it? Thanks to not only the lovely Mr. Noodleman for being on, but it was great that we got the chance to talk to Johnny Sauter, too, as he's headed down to Daytona for a week of racing. It starts Wednesday. Qualifying's at 7:15 on FS1. Be sure to tune in for that. And for all of us involved with the program, hey, first of all, you guys have a great week. Good luck, and don't do anything I wouldn't do down there in Florida, all right?
We'll talk to you on Sunday from down in Daytona.
That's what we like to hear. And for the rest of us, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our engineer is Matt Losey. For all of us involved with the program, we appreciate you tuning in every Sunday morning, and we'll see you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. Find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.